Hey, welcome back to the Midnight Mystery Archive, and this is our July 6, 2026 mini episode. Now, an important announcement. This evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be going live over on YouTube. As you know, we just wrapped our Amy Bradley series, and I have shared with multiple people that I have probably gotten more questions since the series wrapped than I did during the course of the series. And I figured that a good way to allow everybody to ask me questions would be to do a live as a thank you for the many thousands of you who followed along, listened, commented, encouraged me, all of those different things. I'm extremely grateful, and I'm doing this live for you this evening at 8:30. I look forward to it. Now, if you can't join the live, hey, that's no problem at all. Shoot me a direct message on X or the Facebook group, or email me at midnightmysteryarchive@gmail.com. Send me your questions there, and I'll be sure to cover them on the live tonight. I look forward to seeing those of you who can attend. Now, we just completed a 2-part series on the disappearance of Gina Bos. And this case is a very difficult case. Gina and her life was in a very good spot during that period leading up to October 17, 2000. She had a new boyfriend. She had just completed training for a new job. She had 3 kids. She plays the open mic night at Duggan's Pub that evening, actually meets another musician that day, and discusses the possibility of singing backup on a project for that other musician. All of the signs in Gina's life were in a good spot. And then around 1 a.m. that morning, she leaves the pub with her guitar and her sheet music in hand, places the guitar and sheet music in her trunk, and the trunk doesn't close. What that tells us is that something bad happened in a matter of a few seconds. In part 2, you heard from Gina's sister, Jannel Rap. And Jannel seems to share a very similar view as the Lincoln Police Department, that somebody that Gina knew is likely responsible for why she disappeared and has not been seen in 26 years. And candidly, I went into this 2-part series with a very open mind, but as I look at the information, as I've gone through the research of this case, I tend to agree with Jannel and Lincoln PD that somebody she knows is almost certainly responsible for what happened to her at 1 a.m. on October 17th, 2000. Now, if you heard Jannel in part 2, I'm happy to also share that this coming Wednesday, I will be sharing her full interview with me as a new Witness Wednesday. And I can tell you something. Coming off the Amy Bradley series, you heard from Ron and Iva and Brad, and what you heard from the 3 of them are devoted, loving advocates on behalf of Amy. What you'll hear with Jannel is the same thing on behalf of Gina. But what makes Jannel unique is that she took her sadness, her pain, and her sorrow of losing Gina and turned it into something that was so unbelievably successful, not just for Gina, but for thousands of missing people. The Gina Foundation, 411gina.org. You will hear her share stories of some of the amazing things that they have done on behalf of missing people. You will hear her mention how many people have been recovered through the foundation's work and effort, and it will be an inspiring conversation and one that I cannot wait for you to hear this Wednesday on Witness Wednesday with Jannel Rap. So make sure that you are getting that episode in your feeds first thing Wednesday morning. Now, turning to the future. The next 2-part series we're going to do is a case in Canada, and it is the case of young Michael Dunahee. And this case is the first Canadian case that I'm doing, and candidly, I apologize to my Canadian listeners, and there are many of you. The fact that I have done as many cases as I have and have not done one from Canada has been a disservice to you all. And that's really what this summer series is about, is doing cases in the countries where listeners have really taken to this podcast, have come back, listened to this podcast, and supported this podcast. So Canada, you're on deck, and I'll be looking at Michael Dunahee's case. And one thing that's really interesting about Michael's case, on Witness Wednesday with Darsha Dodge, she's from Arkansas, and she references one of the most famous missing persons cases in Arkansas, the disappearance of Morgan Nick, a young little girl. Michael Dunahee's story has a lot of similarities to Morgan Nick's, and I think that will come through in this two-part series. Now, I am hopeful. I have exchanged emails with Michael's mother, Crystal. I am hopeful that we can coordinate a time where she can come on and interview for a Witness Wednesday and help add a layer of firsthand knowledge to Michael's story. And I am looking forward to getting into that case over the next 2 weeks. This past week, there was a special drop in the Midnight Mystery Archive feed, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it. As I have mentioned, the Archive Podcast Network is now a real thing. And to have a network, you got to have more than one show, and that's where our new podcast, The Halls of Mediocrity, come in. For those of you who are not familiar, The Halls of Mediocrity is centered really on the two things that I love most outside of my family: sports and true crime. And to do this podcast, I knew I needed somebody to co-host with me who shared those same passions. And there was really only one person that I could think of, and that was my big brother, Jeff. And Jeff and I have been recording and putting content together. We will launch officially with the first episode on July 14th. And that first episode will be a glimpse into the debacle of the Minnesota Vikings love boat scandal. We've got 3 episodes already in the can. We will be looking at, in episode 2, at the case of now former Detroit Lion, Terrion Arnold, which is a developing case. And whoa, what a story that one is. And then in episode 3, we will be looking at the sad and disturbing downfall of a 2-time World Series champion, Chad Curtis. So July 14th, The Halls of Mediocrity launches. You will be able to find us in your podcast feed. I encourage you, if you like sports, if you like true crime, this is going to be the show for you. And I cannot wait for that day when episode 1 drops. I think you'll enjoy it. I want to take one last bit here to offer my appreciation through the last 2 weeks of the Gina Bos case. A special thank you to Ed Densel from the Unfound podcast, who joined me 2 weeks ago. A special thank you to Darsha Dodge, KOLN senior reporter out of Lincoln, Nebraska, who joined me as well. And then, of course, Gina's sister, Jannel Rap, who will be joining me in 2 days. They helped make this 2-part series, I think, one of the best tellings of Gina's case that is probably out there. And I'm very grateful for their time and their effort in helping me to do that. Remember, The Halls of Mediocrity, July 14th, launching. Upcoming with the Midnight Mystery Archive, 2-part series on the disappearance of Michael Dunahee in Canada. I look forward to continuing this podcast, continuing to tell these stories. I will see you next time. Before I let you go, a few things I want to make sure you know about. First, if you haven't heard yet, the Archive Podcast Network has a new show. It's called The Halls of Mediocrity, and it's covering that place where sports and true crime meet. The trailers are out now, wherever you get your podcast. Go find it and give it a listen. Second, and this one's personal, my first novel, Echo 1953, Book 1 of the Hollis Files Mystery Series, launches July 27th, 2026. It's available for pre-order on Amazon right now, and the link is in the show notes. If this podcast has meant something to you, I genuinely believe you will enjoy this book. And finally, if you want to go deeper on everything we do here at the Midnight Mystery Archive, our Patreon is now open. It gives you early access to episodes, case notes, behind-the-scenes production notes, and a first look at what's coming next. 3 tiers starting at $5 a month, a cup of coffee. A link is in the show notes. And as always, follow us on X, join our official Facebook group, and if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify listening, make sure to give us a rating. It goes a long way in bringing new listeners to the show and the cases that we cover. We'll see you next time.